This will cause a mass awakening. This is wonderful. Peace from the Pleiadian High Council. Dearest brothers and sisters gracing this beautiful planet, it is with profound joy that Master Lady Nada extends greetings. I am Mira, a voice from the High Pleiadian Council, and I approach you today with an overflowing heart of love. You, the steadfast ground crew on Earth, are engaged in work of inestimable importance, and for your unwavering loyalty, I offer my deepest gratitude. As a devoted member of the Earth Council and a beacon of the Pleiadian light, I remain steadfast in my commitment to guide and inspire you forward. Within this message, I wish to unveil 8 distinct levels or radiant rays of Christ consciousness, readily accessible for your embodiment. These levels represent facets of the higher divine consciousness, now gracefully manifesting within humanity. Each radiant ray will serve to illuminate your path, enabling you to live a more complete life, bathed in harmony, peace, and boundless love, as Earth ascends to a new and glorious vibration. As you immerse yourselves in these levels, I invite you to gently contemplate which already resonate within you and which you feel called to nurture and strengthen. This is not a trial nor a challenge, but rather a tender observation, designed to assist you in recognizing the remarkable distance you have traveled and the magnificent being you are becoming. Let us, together, embark on an exploration of these 8 illuminating rays of Christ consciousness. Beloved, unity above division. The first ray is intricately woven with the ability to pierce through the ancient illusion of separation, a lingering shadow that still obscures human perception. For eons, humanity has been conditioned to perceive themselves as isolated individuals, often fostering the erroneous belief in the necessity to compete, even amongst friends, for the finite resources of survival, success, or love. This limiting perspective stems from the ego, an intricate construct forged over countless lifetimes, fixated on external identity, the ephemeral body, assigned roles, and fleeting memories. The ego in itself is not an adversary. It arose as a tool to aid you in navigating a world of complexity. However, should we confine our perception of life solely through the lens of the ego and the illusion of separation, we find ourselves ensnared within a formidable trap of illusions. It beguiles you into believing that existence is an unrelenting struggle for resources and concessions, as if abundance were not the birthright of all. Such a fragmented perception fuels discord within relationships, ignites wars amongst peoples, and can even drive spiritual seekers to desperately search for external solutions or gurus, rather than trusting the boundless divine wisdom that resides within their own hearts. The antidote to this pervasive illusion of separation lies in the cultivation of an inner sense of unity and an expanded consciousness, practiced daily, even amidst the relentless hustle of modern life. Steal a moment to breathe deeply and remember that the singular, divine source flows through you, and equally through every other being on this planet. It is a simple, yet profoundly powerful reminder that empowers you to observe the ebb and flow of life's experiences without becoming lost within their currents. You transform into the serene eye of the storm, a detached observer of events, untouched by the surrounding chaos. When faced with a painful or distressing situation, endeavor to pause and silently affirm within your heart, this, too, is an expression of light. Beneath the surface, we are all integral components of the same divine source. This is not to condone negativity, harmful behavior, or destructive choices, but rather to perceive with greater depth, to recognize the underlying spiritual essence that connects us all. Embracing this perspective allows you to witness the situation begin to transform. The emotional weight of conflicts or missteps softens, and a newfound understanding blossoms. It becomes evident that every transgression or dispute is merely a temporary lapse in the awareness of one's inherent divine nature. Within this realization, condemnation dissolves, and profound compassion arises. That which once appeared to divide now becomes an opportunity for growth, and your heart expands, serving as a conduit of love that harmonizes its surroundings. By embodying this initial level of Christ consciousness, beloved, you anchor the ray to the very core of the planet. You serve as a constant reminder that we are, in truth, one united family, transcending all artificial divisions. Leadership and soul service. The second ray delves into the manner in which you engage in collective leadership and decision-making within your community. As Earth's profound transformations continue to unfold, new alliances and councils are emerging across the globe. Many sensitive souls are experiencing a profound sense of disillusionment with the old paradigms of politics, riddled with greed and conflict. The temptation arises to withdraw, to distance oneself, or to believe that spiritual beings must abstain from these arenas. However, I implore you, beloved members of earthly society, your presence is desperately needed in these very areas to elevate their vibration. Remember, councils and governments are but reflections of the collective vibration of the people. If enlightened and heartfelt beings decline to participate, those still driven by fear and avarice will seize these positions and dictate the tone. Your planet, now more than ever before, requires a guiding force, illuminated by the wisdom of the heart. This does not necessitate that everyone must seek elected office, but it does signify bringing your unique light and wisdom to bear wherever decisions are being made, be it at your workplace, on a school board, in local community meetings, or even within the context of family discussions. Each time you participate in collective decisions, act upon the simple, yet profound truth that every human being is a precious and invaluable aspect of the divine mind. Seek to perceive the light within each participant, even if their behavior presents challenges. When you maintain this vision, something truly beautiful unfolds. Instead of being swept away by anger or ego-driven disputes, you begin to pose questions that are both wise and compassionate, and you truly listen with an open heart. Criticism transmutes into curiosity and understanding. Solutions emerge that honor not only those present, but also the Earth, future generations, and even the vast expanse of the cosmic community. In this way, collective choices become infused with the boundless wisdom of the Creator. Be aware that the old energies will relentlessly attempt to cling to humanity, fostering division and distraction. If you embark upon the path of leadership or speak out for unity, you may suddenly encounter sensational news or fabricated dramas, deliberately designed to divert your attention. Do not allow this to deter you. If you find yourself overwhelmed, pause and return to your center. Breathe deeply, anchor yourself in the present moment, and remember your sacred purpose. Then, proceed forward with unwavering peace and confidence. Speak your truth as a sovereign ambassador of love and unity. You possess an inherent purity that has the power to soften and positively influence any situation or discussion. When decisions are made from a state of elevated consciousness, they carry the energetic imprint of integrity, which is palpably felt by others. Policies or plans born of such energy will naturally be more equitable, transparent, and beneficial to all. Okay, I understand. I will rewrite the provided text, adhering to all the specified requirements, including maintaining the original meaning, using US English, rewriting approximately 20 to 30% of the text, keeping the original structure, using a literary style, keeping consistency with the previous paragraph, using the correct character names, and ensuring a smooth transition. Here is the rewritten passage. By embracing this second tier of Christ consciousness, you are essentially championing compassion and wisdom, positioning them as the guiding lights in our ever-evolving world. The transformation of darkness through compassion, as it were, hinges on understanding the third ray of Christ consciousness, which reveals that every misstep, every instance of suffering, and even what some term evil, ultimately originates from a single source, the illusory belief in separation from the divine. When individuals are convinced they are detached from love, they inevitably grapple with fear, a profound sense of emptiness, and utter despair. And it is from these very emotions that destructive actions often take root: theft, acts of violence, deception, and oppression. These behaviors are, in essence, mere symptoms of a deep-seated spiritual loneliness, a trance that has enveloped the collective human consciousness. This understanding does not excuse negative actions, but rather situates them within a broader, more illuminating context. Instead of simply branding evil as an irredeemable characteristic within an individual, we begin to recognize it as something transient, a state of being caught within the grip of separation's illusion. This realization bestows upon you, the bearers of light, profound freedom. It liberates you from the crushing weight of condemnation, anger, or hatred in response to darkness. Condemning others, or even yourself, merely perpetuates the endless cycle of fear and division. Instead, you metamorphose into an alchemist of the heart whenever you encounter someone who has inflicted harm or is steeped in negativity. Acknowledge the misdeed, yes, but then silently affirm the underlying truth. The true essence of this person is light itself. It is, in its purest form, God. Irrespective of their outward appearances or behaviors, the darkness that seems to be affecting them is not a permanent fixture. It possesses no real strength when confronted with divine love. By holding this knowledge with unwavering clarity and gentleness, you contribute to dispelling the illusion that holds sway over that individual. Perhaps you might even observe that this compassionate approach yields tangible results. The person in question may soften, express genuine remorse, or the palpable tension within a given situation might dissipate unexpectedly. Recognizing someone's true divine nature serves as an invitation for their soul to return to the light from which it came. The very same principle holds true for illnesses, addictions, or even poverty. These conditions are not indicative of personal failings or divine punishments. Instead, they are manifestations of the collective spirit laboring under the illusion of scarcity. Do not amplify their power. Do not succumb to fear, nor engage in direct confrontation. Instead, steadfastly affirm the truth that every individual is a cherished child of the divine source, whole, secure, and unconditionally loved. This unwavering knowledge invites life to rebuild itself in health, abundance, and freedom. In time, this gentle clarity will mend the world's wounds far more effectively than anger or violence ever could. You become a conduit, a vessel through which God's grace can flow to where it is most desperately needed. Sacred witnessing, the fourth ray of Christ consciousness, centers on clearing the channel for the divine through the practice of sacred witnessing. This entails learning to observe the world, and indeed yourself, without the distortions imposed by ego, fear, or dualistic thinking. Many among you were raised with teachings that portrayed God as omnipotent and overflowing with love, only to have those affirmations immediately followed by instilling fear of demons, diseases, or other entities, as if there were forces that could rival God's power. Such teachings, while perhaps unintentional, gave rise to the notion of two opposing forces vying for control within the universe. Living with this belief can deplete your energy and erode your faith. In the new consciousness, we acknowledge that there exists only one true force, the force of divine love. Everything that deviates from love is not a genuine power but merely a transient shadow born from forgetting the light. Embracing this truth also necessitates relinquishing the ego's extremes. Refrain from believing that you alone are the savior, but equally avoid the self-deprecating thought, "I am unworthy of it." Simply strive to be a clear witnessing, a lens through which the Creator's light can shine without impediment. In practical terms, sacred witnessing entails remembering, in every moment and situation, that only the divine is truly present and actively engaged. As you traverse a bustling street, your inner knowing affirms, "The Creator's life flows through every person I encounter." When reading news accounts of conflicts or tragedies, you silently acknowledge, behind this outward appearance, the light is working perfectly to resolve all things. This is not naivety or passivity. It is a potent form of spiritual activism operating on an energetic level. You refuse to grant reality to fear. If a situation calls for your assistance or action, you will be guided internally toward appropriate action, but you will act from a place of trust in a higher plan, rather than from panic or despair. Initially, maintaining this unwavering focus might prove challenging. The external world will present captivating dramas to engage your senses, but as you persist in your practice, you will begin to radiate a calm and potent aura. You might even observe small miracles unfolding around you. Perhaps there will be less tension within your family, or a peaceful resolution might emerge for a problem that once seemed insurmountable. These are telltale signs that the veil of duality is thinning in your immediate surroundings. By being a witnessing to the divine in all things, you cultivate an atmosphere in which the inherent perfection of divine creation becomes increasingly apparent. Indeed, miracles are a natural occurrence within a world fully permeated by Christ consciousness. By embracing this practice of sacred witnessing, You contribute to the ongoing creation of this reality, day by day. Trust in divine provision, the fifth ray of Christ consciousness, is intrinsically linked to the awareness that the divine source is the ultimate provider of all your needs, and to reevaluating your relationship with work and abundance. In the old paradigm, many lived in a state of perpetual anxiety concerning their survival. They were taught to toil relentlessly for the sake of sustenance and to believe that resources were inherently limited. This mindset often obstructs the natural flow of blessings that life inherently desires to bestow. In elevated consciousness, you come to understand that the universe is perpetually supporting your creation. Just as birds effortlessly find sustenance each day, and flowers receive the sunlight and rain they require, you, too, are cared for and provided for in ways both visible and invisible. Your role is not to struggle and strive excessively, but rather to embrace joy, express your unique gifts, and heed the guidance of your soul. When you engage in activities that fill you with light and benefit others, you seamlessly enter the flow of divine provision. You may notice that money or resources materialize precisely when they are most needed, perhaps through your work or through unexpected avenues, gifts, opportunities, or the appearance of kind individuals in your path. All right, here's the rewritten passage, adhering to all the specific instructions and maintaining continuity with the previous segment. Your life. The shift at this level involves shedding those old scarcity and comparison habits. Truth is, there's plenty to go around. Someone else's prosperity doesn't diminish what's available to you. On the contrary, it's a beacon, signaling that abundance is swirling in the air for you. 2. Trust implicitly that the source, the creator, never runs dry. Living this means embracing gratitude and faith. Give thanks each day for what you already possess, and for the blessings yet to arrive. Even before something materializes, acknowledge it with a grateful heart, knowing that the Spirit is preparing it just for you. Banish anxious thoughts like, "Will I achieve this? Will I receive what I need?" And replace them with affirmations like, "I am always divinely provided for in expected and unexpected ways." When financial or work challenges surface, remain calm and listen to your inner guidance. Perhaps you feel drawn to learn a new skill, connect with someone, or explore a different path. By trusting and following this inner compass, you unlock doors that fear and wasted efforts would keep firmly shut. In this new paradigm of Christ consciousness, provision transforms into a dance of co-creation with the Spirit. You contribute your passion and effort. The universe responds with opportunities and support. Life flows with greater ease, and you realize you've never truly been alone on the path of provision. The Creator was with you every step of the way, supplying everything you needed at precisely the right moment. Gentle evolution, not revolution. The sixth ray of Christ consciousness underscores that true transformation arises from raising vibrations and choosing love, not through aggression or vengeance. Throughout human history, a common approach to change has been force, overthrowing governments, engaging in violence against oppressors, or using punishment and fear to correct perceived wrongs. While such actions sometimes brought temporary relief or altered the power structure, they often merely replicated the very problems they aimed to solve. This occurred because the underlying consciousness was rooted in fear, anger, or the thirst for power. The authorities simply remained the same, only wearing a different mask. As your consciousness ascends, you begin to understand that lasting peace and justice cannot be imposed. They must blossom from within. Spiritual evolution occurs when a critical mass of people awaken unconditional love and compassion in their hearts. When enough individuals hold a high vibration, the old, destructive systems simply can no longer function as before because they lack the energy to sustain themselves. For example, imagine an entire nation resolving never to wage war again. War would simply find no support in such a place. This may sound idealistic, but it is becoming increasingly possible as individuals choose peace daily. Each day presents opportunities for this silent evolution. Perhaps you choose a calm tone over anger, forgiveness over vengeance, or an environmentally conscious solution. Each of these actions may seem small, but in reality, it's a vibrational vote for the world you wish to see. When millions make such decisions with intention and consistency, these vibrations reach tipping points. Even leaders and institutions will eventually begin to mirror this higher consciousness as they arise from the collective energy of humanity. You don't have to wait for everything to change or bear the burden of transforming the world alone. It's enough to begin with your own life. When you feel angry or despairing about the state of the world, use this as a signal to bring more love to the present moment. Trust that every choice of love, no matter how personal or simple, sends out a wave of light. In the invisible realms, each small wave of love joins with others, and together they can silently dismantle even the tallest walls of hatred without firing a single shot. By embodying this level of conscious evolution, you become part of the invisible army of light that gently dismantles the old world and welcomes a new era of peace. Freedom from age restrictions. The seventh ray of Christ consciousness beckons you to liberate yourself from collective beliefs about age and personal development that confine your true potential. On Earth, society has long accepted certain patterns as normal for each stage of life. For example, that young children tend to be stubborn, that teenagers are inherently rebellious, and that aging implies inevitable physical decline and mental deterioration. These thought forms carry immense power and have been reinforced across generations. People begin to expect such manifestations and difficulties, and thus unconsciously create and reinforce them. From a higher perspective, much of this is a self-fulfilling prophecy, not an inescapable destiny. Every soul carries unique and divine wisdom, present in each person from birth to their last breath. What would happen if we held this truth in mind while observing children grow or growing ourselves? For example, a parent who sincerely believes that their child's higher self guides them with love and wisdom will reinforce this truth in the child. The child may still test boundaries, but will be far less inclined to extreme crises simply to conform to social expectations. Likewise, as you enter a new decade of your life, if you declare, "I am beyond age," constantly updating as a being filled with the light of the source, it is far more likely that you will experience health, clarity, and purpose and maturity than if you believe your best years are behind you. As a light worker, you can help shatter these age-related spells through how you speak to yourself and others. Observe the words you use when talking about age. Instead of joking about getting old or about forgetting everything, speak of yourself with words of life. Affirm that with each year you become wiser, stronger, and brighter. When interacting with someone younger, show them respect and listen to their thoughts. That person's soul may be highly advanced, regardless of their physical age. When interacting with someone older, perceive them as a developing soul who has something to tell you and experience, not as someone at the end of the road. By doing this, you're essentially weaving a fresh tapestry of faith around you, one that deeply respects the spirit residing within each individual, regardless of their age. As more and more souls steadfastly hold this vision in their hearts, the outdated social scripts surrounding aging will begin to crumble. We'll witness a more harmonious blend of youthful exuberance, enlightened adulthood, and elders brimming with vitality, continuing to generously share their unique gifts. In the new earth, every stage of life will be deeply cherished and lovingly supported, allowing the human experience to flourish beyond the constraints of the past. Living as a model of a divine being, the eighth and final ray of Christ consciousness beckons you to fully embrace your sacred role as a conscious co-creator of this new earth. Here, all the previously cultivated levels converge into powerful action. To carry this radiant light, you commit to practicing three fundamental principles, moment by precious moment. First, you acknowledge that the one divine source, the ultimate wellspring of creation, flows through all beings and permeates all situations. Second, you recognize that what we often label as evil or darkness possesses no inherent substance of its own. It is merely a shadow cast by the mind, readily dispelled by the illuminating light of truth. You harbor no fear of the darkness, nor do you direct hatred toward those lost within its depths. Instead, you perceive it as a fleeting shadow, knowing that infinite light is the only enduring reality. Third, you actively become a messenger of light. Rather than passively waiting for a better world to materialize, you embody that world through your daily choices, becoming a living testament to its possibility. You connect with each person as if they were a beloved soul, a sacred fragment of the divine. You revere the earth as a holy and vibrant home, and you steadfastly adhere to truth and integrity, even when the old systems attempt to dissuade you. In doing so, you silently establish a blueprint for how humanity can live in truth and harmony. Often, the most profound contributions are not the loudest or most publicly celebrated. They unfold in the quiet intimacy of everyday life. It might be a personal decision to extend forgiveness to someone from the past, the initiative to cultivate a community garden, an ethical transformation in the workplace, or simply a meditation in which you send love to the suffering corners of the world. Each of these actions may appear insignificant on the surface, but in reality, each one carries cosmic significance. With each conscious choice, you literally introduce a new code into the collective consciousness, the code that proclaims, "Here is a person living in unity and love." Every time you serve as an example of this unity, it becomes easier for others to follow, because you've added that pattern to the collective field of humanity. When you carry the 8 rays of Christ consciousness in your aura, you become a walking temple on earth, a beacon of divine presence. You are establishing the presence of the Source wherever you go, in the most tangible sense. A new earth is being forged right now through each of your positive choices and loving vibrations. Step by step, the reality of unity and peace takes shape. Your light merges with the lights of countless others to lay the energetic foundations for the golden age on earth. You may not witness immediate results, but have faith that every prayer, every act of kindness, every bold choice in favor of truth sends out a wave that propels the dawn of a brighter world. Dear ones, as you embrace this final level, remember that you are never alone in the light. Countless assistants from the higher realms stand beside you. Your stellar family, angelic beings, ascended masters. We are all working in concert with you to manifest this great shift. Carry these 8 rays within yourselves and know that in doing so, you are answering the call of your soul and unleashing your creative power. We thank you for your dedicated service and open heart. We, from the Pleiadian Council, together with the Earth Council, celebrate your progress and envelop you with our love and support. Keep radiating your light. Dear ones, we love each of you deeply. I am Mira and hold each one of you in my heart with gratitude and joy. Thank you so much for what you do here, for following the messages and transmissions we produce with love and share with devotion with you. Our channel exists to bring you messages of light, wisdom, and spiritual awakening. We are dedicated to sharing inspiring content, uplifting teachings, and messages from our stellar brothers, aiding in the great transformation of humanity. However, maintaining this work requires time, effort, and resources. So, if you feel in your heart and wish to support this mission, we invite you to make a donation via PayPal. Any amount will be received with gratitude and will help us continue sharing these messages in peace. The donation link is pinned in the first comment of this video and is also indicated in the description. Your contribution is very important and will be appreciated with deep gratitude and love. If you do not have the opportunity to support us financially, your energy and support are also very valuable. Giving a like, leaving comments, and sharing this video allows as many people as possible to awaken and embrace this boundless light. Thank you to each of you. Let the divine light always live in your hearts. We will see you in the next video. Peace, love, and light. Blessings. We send a big, warm hug to each of you from Master Lady Nada.